Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Arcane Gate. I'm your co-host, Anaru.
And I am Fallen Monk in D20, Charles Walker. Good to be here.
Now, tonight we won't have Luna, same as last week, but we do have two guests, and want everybody say hi.
Hi, it's me, Arlynia. Hello.
Hey.
And I guess while we're here at the beginning, why don't you introduce like your channel and where people can find you?
Okay, so my name, as you see on the screen here, it's Arlynia. All my socials are ARLYNIA, except for my Twitter, which it's Arlynia. I stream here on Twitch, mostly do Nintendo games and Animal Crossing, but on the side, on the weekends, I play Dungeons and Dragons.
Woo-hoo.
I guess I'm going to leave it to you.
Awesome. Yeah, let's get to the Dungeons and Dragons. So, last we left off, you guys all had a fun run-in in the black market as what seemed like a simple job of you finding out what was doing some property damage ended up in this whole thread that ended up this cop conspiracy. The town guard may be corrupt. You don't know who to trust. There's this black market underground. There's drug trade going on. All sorts of craziness. You found yourselves in this middle of this journey being joined by Daywin, the elven druid, and Beryl, the dragonborn sorcerer, as they helped you on this journey. As you all, for vice captain of the guard, were looking into this matter and what may be the roots of this entire matter and who is actually involved in this. As had a rough fight in the black market, barely making it out, fighting through goblins, bandits, a man named James. It was a rough time. But you made it all through, and all of you were escaping into the night as you were retreating back to the vice captain's estate. Trying to recover and get ready for next day. And we will pick up with all of you making it back to the vice captain's house.
So once we get there, I'll rush ahead to push the door open and hold it open while everyone else rushes in.
Well, that was an experience.
More than we were looking for. This does speed up how fast we have to work.
And looks like they are definitely onto us by now, if they weren't already.
I
So,
have to admit, I'm a little bit new to the mercenary work here. Is this kind of a typical assignment? Because I don't know if my age can keep up with this one.
It started out with squirrels, and then it
yes,
amplified to this.
this entire thing started off with squirrels. Something that we thought was going to be a simple task that turned into a giant town conspiracy. So, no, this is not our traditional job.
What is it with the squirrels? Were there too many of them?
I mean, they were causing property damage. We were looking into it, and then it went down. Well, this.
Squirrels were organized and were destroying stuff. Thought they were the
So
enemy.
it went from squirrels destroying stuff to us destroying stuff, huh?
It's a circle of life, I'm afraid.
The circle of life.
Well, while we all chat about this, I'm going to start mixing because we have to get on this as soon as possible. I mean, who knows? They may even start searching the town for us tonight. But we have to be ready.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I don't think we're going to...
that right?
Yes, I'll start working on that. I don't think we'll have much more than a day or at best 2 days. And that's a stretch.
Well, if you need some extra heat, I can definitely, carbonize some of those materials you got there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's work on this outside. We'll have to keep a lookout, and that way we don't. And you lot stay here. Try to get comfortable. Oh, what a day.
So is it going to be Beryl and Marcus working on the bomb?
It's safer if I don't touch it.
Same.
Yeah, I understand how to make one of these in theory, but in terms of practice, I have not. It's kind of like the difference between the person who's read about how to change a tire on a wagon versus one who actually has changed a tire on a wagon. Which one do you trust more?
The one who talks the best talk.
I will stay out of this and let the experts handle it.
Okay, all of you just kind of sit in the dark house as they go out and make a bomb right outside.
It's the worst that could happen.
Typical Wednesday or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So, GM, we got small bits of the ingredients that we needed, so I'm gonna try to make as many charges as I can, so that we can try to hit more than one place if we need to. Although, if it doesn't look like I can, then I'll just make one big one, I guess.
Okay.
If I make
Yeah, it looks
a
like you-
recommendation, I would lean towards, one or two big ones, because too many small ones and we essentially have firecrackers.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. All right, like I said, in theory, you both have not done this, but think you could do it. So I'm gonna say it'll go down to the roll. So
Oh boy.
I'm gonna say either
Well-
the two of you, each of you can make an intelligence roll, or one of you can make an intelligence roll with advantage.
Roll for how many fingers you lose.
Well, I did have a question. I know how to. I made my gun. What I would try to take a lead on this, I guess.
Oh, yeah, if you know how to make a gun, and if you assumably have a chemical-based explosion there, right, then you already are ahead of the curve on this one.
Yeah. So I'll take lead on this. If you'll assist me.
Yeah, I'll just provide the fire. Or not provide the fire, rather. Whenever
Well, part of this does need fire,
Right.
but that's for one of the ingredients.
Yes.
So, let's begin.
All right, so I've got a simple firebolt cantrip that I can apply to the wood, right?
Yeah, you could.
I think that's a safe bet, yeah? So a controlled firebolt to the wood, get it nice and hot. A lot of charcoal-y carbon type material.
Yeah, sure.
Does he not have a fireplace in this house?
He does.
Y'all want to check the fireplace before you burn his house down?
I mean, we're outside, but we can check the fireplace. Because he might already have a good amount of usable carbon. So, well, yeah,
The
I'll
house in
check it.
olden days, of course, it had that fireplace.
So yeah, I'll check his fireplace actually, to see if we can get some bits, because if he's already been burning wood in here, then we probably already have what we need from there.
Yeah, he does have a fireplace, and it looks like he has used it recently.
Okay, well, I'll
Before
take.
we're out in the street throwing fire around, distracting attention,
Excellent point. So I'll take the, like, has the fire gone out completely in the fireplace?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'll take the bits of wood, the charcoal, and I'll take that outside and start grinding it up.
All right, you come outside to see Beryl has perfectly crisped some wood with firebolt.
Oh well, this will add on to it. So make my rolls.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, 21. You said
Okay.
intelligence, right?
Yeah, just base intelligence.
Yeah, 21.
Okay. Alright, so it is a newish thing for you. It's something you've definitely read about, because dwarves do use a decent bit of explosions in their mining operations, but it's something you never really dealt with directly. But it's not as hard as you think it would be, and Beryl also helps give some guidance as well with some of his studies and everything, and him being expert on combustions and all. And eventually you find yourself with 2 charges. of explosions.
We can use candle wicks as fuses.
Yes, we can. So we have this. Now, we have, potentially we can collapse one tunnel really well, or perhaps two. We know a location where there's probably one. Well, actually, we know a location where there's probably a total of 3 tunnels that we know of, potentially. We know of 2. We know where one may be inside of the warehouse that Dreadslayer wanted us to look in. But we also want to do the most damage that we can in one go.
So we also want to funnel them into one location if we can, since we only have 2.
Yes. Potentially a smaller location that we can get them in. Because if we can collapse something on, we take out a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. So are we wanting to blow up the entrances, make it to where they can't get through, or are we wanting to try to blow up as much of the complex as possible?
Potentially as much of the complex as possible. Here's the thing. If this is a proper underground setup, we only know of 2 locations where you can get in. And Dreadslayer pointed out a place that we could potentially go where there may be another one. So we're not going to be able to shut down all of the exits to this place. So we need to do as much damage as possible to take out this place.
Hey DM, can I hear this conversation?
Since Cyrus is back in it, I assume they're having this with y'all inside the house.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I thought that they were inside.
Yeah. Well, no, I was taking that into consideration. We made the stuff and then we went back inside. Once we made it.
I would like to bring up the point that we are setting off explosives in an underground tunnel, potentially under the town. Are we going to bring down buildings as well?
I mean, that's the thing. There will be collateral damage. These are explosives. It's not it's not easily a measured product, and I'm not a miner, so I have no real experience on how to properly set these off without collapsing a building or 2.
So, say, just hypothetical, we accidentally set this under an orphan and then blow up all the poor kitties.
Well, we would also have to be tactful about where we place these.
And you can tell that by being underground in the dark.
I'm not saying that we move on this now. I'm saying that we scope out locations. We know of two locations that we can do this at. And one of the locations is a shady cavern that's connected to the underground. And the other one is a carriage business that is also connected to this.
I do have a question. Oh, you go.
So might we ask Dreadslayer if there's not a cartographer or somebody who has maybe drawn blueprints of the town?
I mean, to be fair, I have a map of the town.
Oh.
I know 2 locations. I've already marked those 2 locations on this map. So if I don't know exactly what these buildings are, though, this is just a general architecture map. So we would need someone who did have the information on what these buildings are in the town.
But based off of the entrances, we should have... Could we possibly get like a generalized idea of the location, like where it encompasses underneath the town?
Do any of you have skills in cartography?
Not me. A bunch of tools, but not that.
Not I, said the druid.
Nope.
That's a negative.
Mm-mm.
It would be some rough estimating and just kind of like having to kind of go from what you think the map would look like compared to underground tunnels. So it's obviously the town map doesn't have all the underground caverns listed as part of the map. So I'd say somebody make an intelligence check with disadvantage to see if you can kind of line them all up.
I'll be willing to give it a go. It's That's not great. I mean, it's a 14.
Yeah, you're having a hard time really trying to sync them up together to figure it out, because it's a little bit beyond what you're used to as messing with maps.
But by the way, DM, just for the sake of it, would you say that these are dynamite sticks? Because that's something that's on D&D.
I was going to flavor them as that, yeah.
Okay. So I'll just say we have 2 of those. Alright, well, I can't really figure out exactly where these tunnels are, but we would need someone. I mean, the people who would know this information are also probably connected to the underground. So, what do you all think we should do? We have 2 of these. We have a way of setting them off, and we know of 2 locations where we can set them off, but we need to do the most. We should also wait for Dreadslayer. I mean, if he's potentially looked into this. Hello?
Yeah.
I just didn't know you.
We
could also.
I was about to say, what were you expecting Dreadslayer to walk through the door as soon as he said it?
Oh, no, it's just like sometimes I cut out, so I didn't know if y'all heard me or not. But
Yeah, it's all good.
So DM, clear something up for me. Those mentioned the caged bird base. Like, how far was that away? Was it described to us? Was it like a tunnel leading out to it, way out in the distance somewhere?
Yeah, it mentioned there was some it seemed like the entrance was some caves on the outskirts of town, yes.
Okay. Just getting all the information.
Yeah, particularly on the west end of town, a little bit on the outskirts of town, there's supposed to be a cave that's supposed to be the entrance to the main base where they're at.
And this little cave system we have in town here does not connect to that. As far as we know.
As far as you know, but you also didn't get to explore all the tunnels, so it's not beyond the realm of possibility.
Well, if we could find that cave, then we could potentially, collapse it from there. Caves can collapse under the same circumstances too. And if it's on the outskirts of town, then we're less likely to affect anything inside of town.
I do like this idea. Seems like less cringe.
We just have to, but it does mean we have to find that. With no actual connections, I'm not sure if Dreadslayer knows. He potentially would know, but if we can hit there, we could collapse a major entrance and exit.
Well, he's the one that told you about that entrance in the first place.
Oh, well, then he would potentially know exactly where it is. And if he knows where it is, we could collapse it there. We collapse one of the major ways in and out. And yes, the way I look at this, there's no way that some of them won't get away. Some of them are going to get away. But we need to take out as many of them as we can in one go.
Yeah.
So if we're trying to,
I'm just going to say you know roughly where it is, because that's what I was intending for him to get across to you. We'll say he marked on your map.
Okay. So if we collapse it, we can take out a lot of them. We won't take out all of them, but it's a major hit either way. They'll have to recover.
Look, you cut off the head of the snake, the body's going to wither and die. We go for the leadership, let it sort itself out. They'll kill themselves off in a power struggle.
Potentially. But we do know where to strike. Now, it's going to be guarded, definitely, but once we get there, we have to figure out a way in. I know what their symbol looks like. I have the capability of looking like one of their members, but at the same time, that's risky too. Because if they realize that, something is wrong with that, you can see through it. So if they realize something's up with that, then they would know. But we just need a few seconds. All we need is enough to light these, set them off, and try to collapse. And also, I have a smaller variation of an explosion that I can do magically, so we can set off 3 explosions at once, and 3 concussive explosions at once.
Well, you do have ranged fire here, so if we need something at a distance, I can pull that off, no problem.
So, I definitely have to be on running team, because I have the concussive blast I have is kind of closer range, but who else wants to run in with me? I mean, we all go together, but these would be the people who are setting off the charges.
I guess I'll go if...
Going back to Team Alive and Team Shotgun.
Yeah. If you're looking
About to
for
say,
a
are we
very
splitting the
dexterous
party again?
No,
If you're
this is...
looking
No.
companion, mine is subpar. Or
Well-
middling, I should say.
Well, we're not splitting the group again. I would say that what we would do is actually I can be stealthy when need be, but we have someone who claims who can aid us all in being stealthy. So what we do is we get as close as possible and then set these off.
Oh, okay. Oh yes, I can help with.
So if we have that, we can all go at once. Hit them hard, set the charges off, collapse the tunnel. It takes out a good bit of potentially some of their leaders, and as our friend here said, takes them out in a power struggle.
Hope it's not a Hydra.
Why would you even put that type of energy out there? But
Sometimes biting the head off is not the best option, but if we are in good faith that is in fact a snake organization, we should be fine.
I mean, all I'm really hoping for is that they don't come after, is that they get whittled down enough to where they're not gunning for us later on. I mean, but if we have our plan in mind,
Didn't you already shoot the leader? He already hates you.
I mean, he didn't see my face, but he knows what I'm the only guy carrying a gun, so, you know. But, yeah. And if he shows up, I'll have to finish the job. I showed him I was a better shot.
So you landed 1 shot versus his 3 on you?
Yeah, but he shot me, and I stood my ground. I shot him, and he ran. So at the end of the day, who's the real winner?
The one who's breathing at the end.
They both still are.
I mean, technically we're both breathing, but you know.
Which means the
So
battle's
it's
not
a
over.
tie. It's a tie.
I mean, don't make it a tie, because then no one wins. If it's a tie, no one wins. But, well, we have our plan. We can set out come early morning. I say that we jump on this as soon as possible. I say that we grab a bit of rest if we can, set out as soon as we can in the morning, and we get this done. Try to put this town behind us. Trying to finish our job here. I mean, this wasn't really what we...
We'll do more
This
than put it
wasn't
behind
really-
us. We'll put it beneath us.
Yeah, but this
Y'all want to leave
also...
this beautiful place? I mean, I want to build something home here.
I mean, also, this was not our initial job. I feel like we're due, I don't know what how much was the contract for initially? Because I don't think, it's gonna even come close.
Y'all never even talked about a price.
No, man. That's rule number 1 of mercenary. Know how to get paid. Come on.
Well, I'm not traditionally a mercenary, So I didn't realize that.
And besides, for those of you that are looking to, maybe buy some property in the area, I think that property values are about to get a lot cheaper after this.
You
Yeah.
could, yeah.
When we kill
could
half
save-
the town in a fire explosion, then I can have any house I want.
Yeah, I mean,
Free
the house
real
market's
estate.
the house market's gonna get a lot lower. Some could say.
Lower,
So we
yeah.
gotta be sure to gather everybody in town square before we set this off, so I can have any house,
Yeah.
that mansion up on the hill up there.
Well, tonight I do think we should keep watches. So I'll set my alarm, and we sleep in shifts. We can't afford anyone sneaking up on us.
Okay.
I will agree to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the mood for a good long rest.
I'll go
Okay,
first if y'all want.
I can
It
take
is-
the second shift.
Okay, that's Amarok on first, Daywin on second.
Who's on third?
I'll take third.
I would rather go with someone who also has a good perception. So I'll keep watch with someone else as well. With
I'll
someone
take
at the same
third.
time.
Okay, Luna will join with you then on third.
Okay.
With Maddie on third, not you, Amarok. I mean, Marcus.
Okay.
You, the person I'm
I'll-
pointing out right now.
Yes.
Yes, I understand.
I'll go on fourth then, I guess. If we need 4 shifts, then I'll go on fourth with someone else if someone wants to watch.
Okay. So. If that's about it,
And I'll set my alarm before we go to bed.
I'm going to say it's about 2 a.m. now, so for you to get a full 8 hours, it would be about 10 o'clock. You're going to wake up.
I mean, it's the earliest we can get it. We need all we can for this.
So. Okay, everyone who is taking a watch, make a perception check for me.
Yeah, I'd roll in total.
Hmm.
Uh, 16.
16, alright.
But 13 for me.
16, 13. Amarok, what'd you get?
I had an 18 total.
Okay. Maddie, what'd you
16.
get? Okay. Your twin sister got a natural 1.
She's sleeping.
Yeah,
She's
natural
had
1
a
in a
long
watch.
day,
You just
okay?
fall straight asleep.
Nice.
Alright.
Yeah, during
So-
the watch, I'm gonna go ahead and read my letters.
Okay. So no one else knows this information. Which one do you want to read first?
I'll read the guild one first.
All right, the guild one first. It says, "Attention, all Alchemist Guild members. From this moment on, do not associate with the organization that I am 90% sure is a cult known as the Chain Birds."
Mm.
Well, I wouldn't really call them an organization either, but that's what they insisted they were, so whatever. Anyways, I hate cults and they're sketchy at the least. For a few years now, I've been contacted by representatives of the cult. Every time I turned them down. Till a few months ago, I was offered some giant hearts if I would simply meet with them. Figured it wouldn't hurt. Boy, was I wrong. Some demented secretary-looking woman who called herself the Raven went on for a few minutes about us ascending past our human shackles and becoming truly free and being part of their ascended people. Realizing they were just a cult, I got bored and walked out, and telling my interns to escort them out of the building, and they refused to leave. Even tried to recruit some of our own while on the way out. I got annoyed and got Mugen to get them out of town. Heard whispers of them trying to still recruit in town, so sent some Mugen's men to investigate them. Apparently they've been involved in a drug trade, buying out small alchemists, and strangely, they've been stalking the rune scribes in town, or at least trying to buy them out as well. Particularly the number one in town, they've been trying to buy his secrets up. So, in short version, avoid them at all costs, report to them local authorities, and also stay away from cults. Also, the giant hearts that gave me are ogre hearts. I mean, they're not wrong, but they're literally useless for alchemy. Yeah, so they have that as well. They'll try and pull loopholes on you. Sign, your boss, Rawl.
All right. So nothing I don't already know. And what does the personal letter say?
I did not change that letter from the last few sessions at all. I wanted that clarified. Y'all had a chance to be warned.
We were not warned. we got our post too late.
All right. And the other one, the letter to Amarok from Rawl. Amarok, well, I've been gone a while and haven't told me how the transformation gone. If you're still alive, I'd really like you to do that. So yeah, stay alive and let me know how the dose went. It took a lot of resources to shove that foul concoction together, you know? Get back to Merton when you can. Sign Rawl. P.S. She misses you.
So yeah, I was right. I got yelled at and guilt tripped. Okay. I'm gonna save that letter.
Okay.
Just stick it down in my little book there.
Alrighty. And your watch goes by pretty simply. Every now and then you'll hear some birds making some noise at night, but that's about it. Next is Daywin. So Daywin, your watch also goes by without a hitch. It's a peaceful night. You hear bugs out, but then suddenly the bugs seem to die down for a little bit. And from a distance in town, you see, it seems like there's a decent bit of lights coming on, as you see a good bit of people bustling about. You're not really sure what's happening, and no one really seems to head in your direction, but there is some movement going on in town.
I just want to watch for the moment being.
Okay. You watch him for a while, and nothing really seems to come of it. No one really comes your direction. And eventually the bugs start to slowly come back, and the nightlife resumes to normal as all the lights kind of fade out and just goes back to being a normal night.
Oh, that's interesting.
All right, and that is the end of your watch. Right, and it is the twins next. Luna, you try it. Luna is... Maddie, you attempt to wake Luna up to the best of your ability. She isn't getting up. She kind of sits there and watches with you for a second, then you hear her just kind of fall over and just go back to sleep. But your watch goes... Other than that, your watch is pretty uneventful. Nothing really seems to transpire.
Alrighty.
Just mid-sentence thunk.
Right. And finally, it is Marcus's watch.
On my watch, I want to read Rebecca's letter.
Okay. The letter to Rebecca to Marcus. The letter is instantly, you can instantly tell it's her because she writes in real big bold letters, "Hey brother!" And it says like, heard you went on first adventure. That's great. If you ever end up in the north, come by to university. I'm getting to work on some adamantite set of armor soon for some elven general. I can't wait. I'll even send you a sketch of what it looks like. Come on by and see me. I miss you. Sign, your awesome sister.
Lucky. Already getting to work with Animatite. Maybe I should have looked with the elves. Speaking of which, and then I'll look and see what Keg's letter says.
Yeah. We also see you unfold the leather further, and there's a pretty detailed layout for a set of armor. You see she's improved a lot over time. Not as good as drawing as you, but definitely good design laid out.
Well, can't have her getting ahead of me. And I'll add that to my notes as well.
Okay. And the letter from Keg says, "Marcus, my boy, come on by to Landbridge Station. I got some work for you, if you'd like." And that's all it says.
All right. I mean, he kept it simple.
But, yeah.
And then I'll read.
Yeah, knowing him, that's pretty straightforward for him. Normal for him.
Then I'll read the letter from my parents.
Right. You see a letter, and looking into it, it's half of it seems to be written by your mom, half of it seems to be written by your dad. And first half, "Hey Marcus, just want to check in on you. Make sure you're safe on your journey. Just because you're venturing doesn't mean you need to strength on your studies, But hey, I'm sure you'll do great. Be safe out there." And that next was like, "Marcus, yeah, did what your mom said. You're always more into academic stuff. Hey, don't forget your daily prayers. Those are important, especially as he guides you through your inventions. I'll be praying for you, son. Signed, Dad."
Yeah, and I will fold them up, all 3 letters up neatly, and I'll put them in my pack and continue doing my watch.
Okay. At that point, dawn's rising. Everyone slowly starts to stir and get up. Well, not dawn rising, but it's getting a little lighter in the day. It's about 10 o'clock. Everyone's pretty exhausted from the last night, as from all the vigorous activity they had. But as y'all look around, you come to realize the captain isn't back.
Well,
that is interesting. DM, may I assume that we all get the benefits of a long rest?
Yeah. You all get a long rest.
We're all not dying.
Yep. So it looks like our friend, the captain, did not make it back.
This does seem strange for him, does it not?
Mm-hmm.
it's disconcerting, definitely. Did anyone see anything interesting on their watch?
There was something interesting during my time last night. It was almost if all of the forest became quiet. You couldn't hear the bugs, and there were bright light and movement stirring in town. And then, again, the lights die, and the bugs, they come back. It was strange.
Well, that could mean that they're already... I mean, we already knew they were going to be on to us, but that could have something to do with it. So,
What do you mean by bright light?
It was like light started coming from the area where town is. Not
So just a non-natural light.
yes, something.
Like it
like-
wasn't a bonfire or anything else.
No, not that I.
Well, I've apparently been told that these caged bird folk might be a cult. You think it could have anything to do with that?
Man, I hate cults. Crazy thing
Oh,
is, you
It
get
was-
one member, and then you gotta get 3 more members, and those members have to get 3 each, and then the 3 more, just
It was definitely eerie. It
well,
was not natural.
this keeps
Interesting.
going deeper and deeper. I was hoping they were just simple bandits, but if they're a cult, that's potentially worse, but
Emrock, you said a cult.
That's just the information I've been given.
So you have no idea what they worship.
Not particularly.
Because this might be easier than just cutting off the head of a snake. We can cut
What do you
off...
think?
If we cut off their belief, they have no organization at all.
I mean, we have to figure out what they believe in, but potentially, yeah. That's if it's something that's easily to. Well, wait a minute. Do you think they might be? This is a stretch, but I mean, we've already found one religious symbol in this town that had to do with a particularly dark entity. They could be connected to that, but it also seems a little different from them as well.
It's interesting, though.
What symbol did you find?
We found an effigy.
I would also like to take out the scepter that I have. One of the followers was wielding this as well. And it's like a spider-like scepter.
Daywin, you recognize that as basically one of the forbidden deities known as the Swarm Weaver, which is essentially this deity of gluttony and insects. He has more cult following of people that just are pretty depraved to ravenous folk, and usually cults of them worship insects and other giant creatures like that.
My
Well, giant
friend,
insects.
you do not want to be holding that. Nothing good can come from it.
Yeah, we were going to see if we can get rid of it outside of this town. We figured if we got rid of it here, it would just cause more trouble.
It should be guarded and cannot fall into the wrong hands.
Agreed. The only problem is we have no idea who we can trust here.
Fire pit over there.
I mean, I don't think a simple fire pit will destroy a magical object. They tend to be tougher.
But would you think that this would have anything to do with the chain birds? I don't know. I didn't see any grotesque spider-like people when I was down there.
I don't know. I mean, they're called the chain birds. I mean, doesn't mean they worship a bird either, but we don't really know anything about them other than we thought they were a simple gang, and it turned out that they're not.
Wait, what does this have to do with the squirrels?
I mean, what does any of this have to do with the squirrels? But
Honestly, I figure the squirrels were just a money-making scheme in concoction with the bandit group. Is
Like-
what just me gathering, because y'all two are the detective, honestly. I figure y'all would come up to something similar to this. The construction group hired in an outside person to control the squirrels, cause damage, that they work to get the jobs and then give them a cut of the profit. That's just me, but I'm no detective.
I mean, when you say like that, I wish it was that simple, but it turned out it wasn't.
But then again, remember whenever we started this, I said that it could possibly be a look at this hand while I steal from the other scenario. The squirrels might be the distraction. So Amrock, you are onto something here. But the real problem is in the other hand.
Squirrels are quite distracting by their very nature. Yes.
They're conniving creatures.
Well, we need to figure out what's potentially going on in town, but we also have to get to our marks. We need to do this today. This has to happen today.
And before sundown, because by the looks of it, they are more active at night.
And we also,
Wouldn't you be?
I mean, also this, they know that people know about what's going on. If they're not ready to move out of town, they're readying for a war. So the more time we give them, the worse off this is. So we need to move to the location, get in as close as we can, and try to drop the cave.
One tidbit that we need to focus on, though, as well. Since the captain did not return, he might be in the blast radius.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Honestly, I'd like to check out what happened in town, see if we can pick up anything, what happened.
Was the captain
I
not
was
aware of our
involved.
plans? Because if he was, he knows to avoid these areas, right?
That's the problem. The plan was also to return.
Yes, part of the plan was that he returned here. But yeah, I do think we should look in to see what's going on in town. We need to mix things up a bit. I mean, our disguises are definitely going to get out there. We have to be as stealthy as we possibly can here. I know for the one wearing heavier armor, that's a bit of a challenge, but we need to move in stealth with this. Because by now they know what to look for. I prefer it if I didn't already have to disguise myself so early in the day with a spell. I'm limited considering. So we need to move in, stealthily try to figure out what's going on in town, and if we can, find out where Dreadslayer is.